Okay, let's move toward 2D flow modeling, but we will again verify 7 August. This is the result of 7 August because they are moving at very high rate, so we cannot see it here. You can see that at 7 August we have the value of 1200. We can if move manually, you can see the propagation of the wave, flood wave. Okay, now let's move toward the 2D across modeling. For this we only have to need 2D geometric data. Now we are on slide 66. Here are the geometric procedure of the model setup remains same, including unsteady flow data input as in follows. Now create the 2D geometric data. First of all, we will create new geometric data. I will specify the name for my own remembrance. Okay, you know, when I change the geometric data, the terrain association is vanished. We require the terrain association for developing the 2D mesh. So we will first go to the RAS mapper to assign the terrain data. Here is the 2D. Okay, now we have seen the terrain data associated with our 2D geometric data. Okay, now we will create, we are on the slide number 66. Now we will create the 2D mesh, 2D flow area. We have marks over area for the reference. You can add your map layer data.
Yes, you should inform.
Okay, yes, just
Yes, we
within.
should inform the participants that we are increasing our time for workshop because we still have to do modeling still left, so
Here I have just add my river reach, so I can remember where I have to start and where I have to end. Okay, now we will mark the 2D flow area. It is basically the polygon.
please consider a very small polygon.
Okay. In 2D area, you do not have any specify. Instead, in case of more plain area than Rawalpindi, then you have to specify your highest marks like roads cross as mentioned by Dr. Mutasar Iqbal, roads, railway lines, or other high features. Conceptual proportion zooming in. Okay. Double click to end the area. Okay. Due to time limitation, I will boost up a little time. Now the next step was creating mesh. Here is the computation. You can specify over dam is 30 by 30. You can specify smaller or equal or greater according to your requirement. But if if I assign smaller value, the computation time interval will be increased. So I will increase the cell size double of our digital elevation model. So here, there is our mesh. Now the next step is to mark the BC lines, boundary condition lines. You can see here the user interface we are working with. If you face these problems, upstream boundary. Downstream boundary. Okay. No, I am exempted the creation of break lines for saving the time. Otherwise, you can see where my pointer is heading. You can draw the break line. Okay. No, we have to specify the upstream input data and downstream input data. एजाज ये खत्म कैसे हो गया? चलो, हो गया. These are the older data we have used, but we will use their flow data. Okay, we will use the older simulation time interval. Okay, now you have to specify the energy slope time for distribution of flow. Now make it as small as possible. If it's an hit and try, you can adjust it with a hit and try method. Okay. No, now we have to create a new plan. Plan. PDM study. Okay. Just replace my older data. Okay. Preprocessor, geometry processor, and something else. But before performing this, we have to compute the hydraulic table of 2D flow area. You can go there, right click, compute 2D flow area hydraulic table. It will read the terrain values within each mesh cell. Okay, they have read it. You can see that against each cell they have drawn specific elevation value. You can see the properties here, but no time being we have to perform our simulation. Starting time. Ending time. Okay, our we have to verify our data. Okay, they are end at 31 July. Okay. The equation used for 2D flow simulation is diffusion wave equation. We do not have changed the equation to full send Bennett equation, which is called momentum equation, full momentum equation. GA 2D flow simulation. If the participant have any question related to today workshop, you can ask during the simulation, and after completing the simulation, you can ask. You can raise your hand. We can unmute your mic so you can ask the questions.
IT manager, can we give the facility of the mic to everybody? So if they have any questions, they can ask the questions now, because I think simulation will take further 2-3 minutes.
All right, sir.
So now you can unmute your mic if you want to ask or give some suggestions. You are welcome till this simulation is continuing. Please raise your hand. We can ask you the. We can give you the mic. So I can see some of the students.
Saddam Hussein, you have the option to unmute your own self if you want to ask the question, because we have permitted you to mute and unmute your own self.
Okay, thank you, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My question regarding boundary condition is that whenever we are going to select a boundary condition, either upstream or downstream, when we click on the dialog box, the window pop-up in front of us shows multiple options to us. Could you please recommend which one is the best option to select any boundary condition? For example, we should go for rating curve, or we should go for hydrograph, or slope, friction slope, etc.
Yeah. The boundary condition basically represents the upstream condition which you want to simulate in the 1D unsteady and 2D unsteady modeling. If you
Yes.
provide the stage hydrograph, they can compute the water surface profile from the stage hydrograph, and the downstream if you provide the
Okay,
rating curve.
sir. For example, we are talking about upstream boundary condition. Which
Yeah.
option best suits us to? Which one would you recommend us to use for our simulation purpose? Either
Flow
flow
hydrograph.
hydrograph or stage hydrograph or normal depth and rating curve. Which one is best for us?
Flow hydrograph we basically recommend at upstream boundary condition. On downstream boundary condition, we recommend if you have additional data for calibration and validation, you can use stage hydrograph rating curves also, because they are the indication of your specific cross section at specific location, because stage hydrograph at which stage hydrographs have developed. So it can be best suitable to use in calibration and validation process at downstream.
Is there any limitation or advantage or disadvantage among all these options?
Advantages and disadvantages, I think I have discussed that. The advantages of stage hydrograph at downstream is that you can more soundly calibrate and validate your own model
Okay.
than the normal depth, because in normal depth you have the open end to the software that computes the water surface profile, so you can adjust your normal depth in cross sections or in them to generate your specific or required water height or depth at specific location at which you have mentioned checkpoint or observation point.
Okay.
But stage
Sir,
hydrograph, I think, using if you have incorporated the hydraulic structure like bridge or weir, you can use more specifically at that point.
and sir, for downstream, as you selected the normal water depth as boundary condition, is it the normal water flow depth?
No. This is not the normal water flow depth. Let me show you here. It is a frictional slope. It is a frictional slope of your river bed channel. It consists of frictional slope. Here is written frictional slope. It is not the water depth.
Frictional slope, that means the L section slope,
Yes, slope of your
longitudinal
channel.
slope of the
Yes.
channel. Okay.
No, I think I have. You can ask question, but meanwhile, we have completed our simulation. So let's try what we have dig out. Okay. Okay. Let me start the animation. Because we have just one value which is highest in the flow hydrograph, so that's why we do not have created such more appealing animation here.
Sir, I have one more question.
Ji,
Uh,
this is
I am
our
working. Yeah, I am working on HECRAS nowadays for sediment simulation. Just my question is very generic. That how many number of cross sections do we need to perform our analysis? For example, I need to check the accumulation of sedimentation upstream of the reservoir. So how I should plot my cross sections for upstream and downstream, and how many cross sections?
honestly, I do not have more expertise in sedimentation, but I will request Professor Dr. Noor Muhammad Khan if he have some suggestions, because he are expert in hydrology and hydraulics modeling. Sir, please, if you can answer.
Yes, question is related to the number of cross sections.
Okay. Okay. If the question is related to the number of cross section, then let me explain here. You can see here that the water is flowing in this direction. Okay. If
Okay.
over cross section, let me open the first 1D cross section. Okay. You can see that in 1D, when I have run the unsteady or steady flow in 1D, the water limited to these cross sections. Okay. They are not go behind these cross sections. Okay.
Right.
In the same sense, if you want to study precisely a sedimentation or flood inundation or anything else, you have to input these cross section at that location which you want to model. If you want to model these features, you have to input the cross section at that point. Okay. If you want to precise your study according to sedimentation, what if you have a belaz and you have a cross section at upstream of the belaz? See, then they cannot be incorporated in the cross section. If you want to represent the belaz in the middle of the stream, you have to survey the model at the location of belaz at upstream and downstream, so you can model more precisely the location of the belaz. But in 2D, you have the option. If you do not survey data, you can use the digital elevation model or modify elevation dam. I think I have listened that in nowadays HECRAS have the capability to perform 2D sedimentation, but you can be verified before going to use this option. I think I have answered your question, how many cross sections, because cross sections are the main feature you are going to represent for flow model, in flow model. Okay.
Okay, yes, I think
Okay. Okay. And
now we can-
the last one, the most important feature I have to show you here is the modification of dam. I show up there the modification of dam. Here you can see that the water is simulated on the unmodified dam. So What if we modified our digital elevation model? We have used the surveyed cross section data in 1D unsteady and steady hard flow simulation. Here is the cross section data. Here you are the option interpolation surface. Okay. Okay, here is the option for interpolation surface. What will it do? They will interpolate the cross section between two cross sections. They will interpolate everything because we are not running this geometry and model. That's why it is not active here. So after interpolation, they can generate our digital elevation model between all cross section, between one cross section to another cross section, another to another, up to the which they create a digital elevation model which represents the actual survey of your cross section. Then we can export the data in contour or in the TIFF format. We have already provided the TIFF format of the interpolated cross section data. So for the time being, we will use that data. How we will modify our digital elevation model. This is the original terrain which we have downloaded from our online source. Now we will modify our digital elevation data with the help of our survey data. Procedure is same, create new terrain. The first one, select the data you want to incorporate and then select the other data into. First, I want to embed the interpolated cross section. Then I have to select first of all interpolated steady reach bathymetry. Then we will select the digital elevation model where we want modification, which is steady area dam. No, we will create the same projection, the same. Okay, we have already the specified name terrain. Let's change the name. Modified. So, okay. You can see here that the interpolated survey data we have used in our study has been embedded in digital elevation model. So it is more prominent and more modified than the actual terrain data you can use for your precise studies in 2D modeling. If we can again run the HEC-RAS 2D modeling, then the result will be more prominent, because if I run, Dr. Mudassar, if I have time, can I run using modified DEM?
We need to actually do our session.
If you allow
Just
5
we get you want just do modified.
Okay. Okay. The result is shown in this window is computed on previous terrain data. What is the sense of creating this flow depth is that they will simply add and subtract the water surface profile from your terrain data. If your terrain data value is higher than your flow depth, then it will neglect, it will not show on your digital elevation model. In case we modify terrain data, because in modification of terrain data we have actual cross section survey, which is the actual representation of the cross section depth and height. So it can show each and every drop of the water you have computed through your cross section survey. So this is the purpose of the modification of the dam to use in 2D modeling. After modification, you do not need any cross section data to incorporate, or you can simply use in 2D as a 2D mesh to compute your flow study, or you can add any structure here or levies here, Lewis studies, flood modification, flood wave mapping. You can use these modify them. So that's it. So I conclude today's session with this modification of them. The last step which I have incorporated here was the addition of the weir in the 2D model. Let's leave it for the next time. So